Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Doom Gaming, and I'm here joined with Coach Prescriber. And
Was
today we're
good,
gonna,
you.
be going over mentality, mentality part of Smash Ultimate. And this is my second training course from Prescriber. He's a really good friend, really amazing player, and I hope that you guys be able to subscribe to his channel at the Prescriber.
Thank you very much. And I'm here to help Doom with his mentality. And this is for a lot of purposes for him to go back. And in case if I forget any information, he'll be able to go back and see the information of what I have to say and whatnot. And, the questions that I'll be going through. There'll be several questions I'll be asking him and, talking about ways we can like figure out how he can deal with anger, which is the main issue with is you know, with how he deals with, struggling competitive wise, you know what I'm saying? So I'm ready and excited to play with you. And not only just that, but more just like discussing what ways you can deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely, bro. And I feel like mentality is definitely the most important key to just being good video games in general, like overall. Kind of helps with
No
that
doubt.
competitive mindset.
No doubt. And it's very important for you, especially because I know that several times in the past that, you know, you tend to, well, first off, I want to ask you, what do you get mad in general? Like, why do you get upset you know, when it comes to like fighting in general, when competitive wise, and no matter what, if it's like friendlies or anything, why do you get mad personally? Like, what's the reason that you can really feel?
I feel I feel that I could have done better in that match. Like maybe I made like a lot of mistakes, or I was just doing like all the same things, and it's kind of more like coming from, well, more like a place of regret, kind of like I wish I could have gone back and fixed one of my bad habits.
Okay, okay. So, well, first off, what I can suggest to you, right, is let me ask you this as well. Does this apply to characters, to any type of characters or players? Like, well, is this all spectrum? No matter if you're fighting as Steve or me as Dr. Mario. It doesn't matter what character I go through. It's like you feel this in all ways you go through.
Yeah, I just feel this more in general, like just with everything. Like, I mean, there might be some characters that could be annoying to fight, but for me, I feel like it's more of just like losing the battle overall, because it
Okay,
could be it could be a low tier character that I lose to, but I would still just feel that anger after the match.
I feel you. I feel you. Okay, so what I will tell you is this, right, from my experience, and I'm going to talk to you a lot in depth about what you got to do to really just focus on that aspect of like no matter who you fight, no matter what character it is, like the most important thing is to understand that you're never going to find a character that you're going to always like to play against. You know what I'm saying? So you say that your favorite matchup is fighting against like Pikachu. Well, it's pretty ironic because you're Ganon, but as a bad example. All right, let's say you like to fight Little Mac, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's fun character to fight against. That's how you feel. But here's a character that you don't like is Pikachu. Now, there's several ways that you can deal with this. For one, I suggest to you is honestly acknowledge the fact that you're never going to fight a character that you're going to always like, you know what I'm saying? And that's a very normal feeling and that's okay to accept that. And as much as it's hard to say is that you're never going to always win as well. As I know it's pretty cliche to say like, oh yeah, MKLeo may be the best, but he gets upset. But the one thing that distinguishes that is that you have a mindset to where you can fix on the key aspect of knowing that if you at least practice knowing the fact that, all right, you know what? Instead of saying, oh man, I can't believe I'm finding a Pikachu, you say, all right, man, I'm gonna do the best of my abilities because from what that drives from is the way you view the game because it all depends on like your perspective and as the most important factor is that your perspective like let's it's like you know what affirmation is, right, Doom?
Yeah, I'm familiar with affirmations. You know, I used to practice a little bit of positive affirmations.
Okay, it's similar to that but a little bit different. So basically you tell yourself, all right, I will persist. You tell yourself that many times each day, and that's one way to improve to where you're not going to feel that way of knowing like, oh damn, I suck. I feel like I'm terrible. Why don't you just tell yourself, all right, man, why can't I just persist? And that comes for the fact that knowing your strengths of improving your own game plan. That's why you tend to struggle because you just like, dang, it's like something's lacking within you that caused you that feeling that way, a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? So, like, um, I guess another thing I want to tell you, well, I believe, and I believe another way you feel this way is because you just don't have enough like practice and enough awareness to honestly like understand why you lose and why you get angry. You know what I'm saying? It's not the player's fault. I mean, not their opponent's fault. It's all the responsibilities up to you. You know, you may say, oh, you know, Steve is carry, but like that's part of why I'm saying perspective is important. It's your own responsibility to get through the game and know that all right man, even though I'm fighting the most annoying matchup for me personally, I have to get through it because you know whatever BS I'm going through, I know the fact that if I have my own strengths, no, you know, my own practices, you know, having that confidence through your own affirmations, which it is tie in to what I make basically saying, it will ultimately help you improve. You know what I'm saying? So a combination. So basically, what I'm saying, a combination of affirmation, practice. Um, Now, in general practice, let me go that briefly. Practice, like practicing your combo or like anything your weaknesses that you've been going through. You know what I'm saying? Like our last session, you can go back to our last session, like what you got to improve on. Then after that, you're gonna build and develop that awareness, which is that. So affirmation, practice, and overall perspective is very important. How you view the game, because if you're gonna say, "Oh man, I'm fighting a Ganondorf, I'm gonna lose," you're gonna start getting sweaty and shit, and you're gonna be like, "Oh wow, I just." And it's like it might sounds easier said than done, but like it's really like what ultimately the bottom line is. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like last week I had to fight Jake, the Steve. He's like one of the best Steves in the U.S. I was like, oh man, this is tough, but I have to get through it. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta have to roll with the punches. You know what I'm saying? And when you deal with that type of anger, it's like, all right, what do I? You have to understand. All right, what do I have to do to fix that way? Because you're still on the mindset of like, all right, how do I supposed to view this way? What affirmations saying to myself, all right, if I'm persisting, what ways can I deal with this? And that's in line to where how you can deal with that feeling. You know what I'm saying? And I know it may seem like a lot, but it's something that, from my experience, it's very important to know that having your own changing your perspective, the way you view the game, is very important. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have like a poor view of the game, then you're not going to go very far in competitive wise. In all honesty,
Most definitely. Like I know, like I probably won't, maybe not go pro, but at least compete at some locals and at least like try to get top eight consistently. That's like my whole goal for now. I just want to make small goals for now. Try to reach it little by little, and then from there, like I'll start making bigger goals after. So I feel that the mentality that I have right now is just not gonna allow me to get top eight consistently.
no doubt. I mean, in all honesty, I see, several times, not to snitch on you, but several times, there's been falling outs just because the way you feel and whatnot. But it's just the way you have to control your anger and change your perspective. That's why, um, I'm talking to you from experience, player competitive wise for the past like 4 years since 2019 as of now. That you just gonna have to like change your perspective and just view the game a lot differently. You have to unwire those like imagine this. Just imagine right now, Doom, that you have a lot of tangled wires that from different cords and whatnot, and you have to figure out a way to fix that and clean it up and change your mindset and your perspective in that regard because it's very important. It's much. Let's say it's a player like who has very good tech skill or like very good at comboing, but like if he has a poor mentality, then it's like he's just gonna crumble into pieces, just not being able to understand like his own perspective or his own like ways of why he's losing because like that's why in perspective it's like another thing as well as like your mentality of where you feel like you feel confident but not like boasting. You can't like undermine or overplay an opponent. You have to just let it flow. You get what I'm saying? Let it flow.
Most definitely, man. And I I did in the past, always let my emotions like get the best of me instead of just like thinking critically, thinking logically about that situation. It's like instead of just blaming others, I should have just like took accountability, say like, well, what do I need to work on? What do I need to improve?
That's right, and that goes back to our past coaching session, which you can still go back to. It's still valid to this day, until you feel like, all right, I don't need this no more. But that's besides the point. But like, um, so it's like also like when you get mad, there's certain characters like you say Steve is your character that you tend to get mad at, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, for Steve and as well as like maybe a couple other DLC characters, it's just like it's really frustrating to play against.
For sure. And there's several ways you can deal with that. Like I said, with all I mentioned, the affirmations, saying, I will be confident, I will persist, I am persistent. And as well, just like knowing your practices and how you deal with matchups and whatnot, which goes back to the other session that we talked about, what I'm saying, how you improve and whatnot. Um, but another thing is that you don't have to choose Ganondorf as well. I know that if you want to be a loyalist to Ganondorf or whatnot, that's totally up to you. That's fine. But in this meta, it's very harsh because characters like ours, even with Dr. Mario, they tend to get like they struggle against matchup. It's not saying it's impossible. It's not impossible, but it's just very hard. Let's just say, what I'm saying. It's just very, very hard. So that's why I'm telling you, work on the matchups as well. Is another thing you should view in your perspective is like, oh man, all right, you don't blame your opponent as well. They didn't do nothing. They're just here to compete, just the same you are. That's another thing you should empathize. Like, oh, he's competing like I am. You know what I'm saying? That makes you like be more grounded minded in that regard because I know how much you value spirituality, which it may sound kind of corny, mixing like a party competitive game with spirituality, but like it actually does help me a lot too, when knowing the fact that everything has like a reason to exist and whatnot. But then not to dwell into that. I'm just saying in general, like change your perspective is very important. Because if you're just gonna get mad at somebody playing Steve and just friendlies, then that's a you problem in all honesty. That's something like you know what, fuck that. I'm going to improve on knowing the fact that even if I fight the most annoying character, I'm still knowing my strengths, knowing what my values to where. All right, you know what? How do I deal with this matchup? All right, he's going to do this option, this and that type of way. It's a lot more of a healthier mindset, and it's like, oh man, he's cheating and whatnot. Then you're putting the position of him just like overpowering you already. So you already lost the game just by thinking that.
No doubt about that, man. And I feel like regardless of the character that the opponent chooses, I want to say that I need to just to focus on myself and bring myself into the present moment and be like, all right, well, all I can do is try my best and try to make adjustments along the way, you know?
No doubt. And another thing is that, well, I believe it covers under mentality, but if you ever, let's see, I'm not going to expect you to like be perfect and whatnot, be like an angel, just having that perfect mentality. It's not what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is like this type of stuff will help you because I know we're all humans. I've made my personal mistakes too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not some sort of prophet or whatnot, but I'm just someone that has a lot of experience and competitive and wise and like and want to help you out, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, like I'm saying, what you can do is as well, like if you ever get mad, if you ever get upset at somebody, you should definitely apologize too. And just own up. Just if you ever like you're at the heat of the moment or whatnot, you just have to move on, accept your flaws. And if he doesn't accept or not, just know the fact that, all right, you know what, how do I change this? How do I not like make other opponents or other people uncomfortable like that? You know what I'm saying?
Right. You know, instead of like trying to blame them, like always try to look at myself and try to figure out like what I can do to change myself, you know?
For sure. And I'll tell you what, I know I'm not the best Steve player in the world, but we can play a best of three real quick. And I want to um I know it's and I know it's on the spot, but like I want you to try to apply that in practical form where I've teach you the basics on what not, and I'm not the best Steve player in the world, but I want to see how you're able to play against. You know what I'm saying? For a
Right.
best of three real quick.
Most definitely. It's like just trying to apply like everything that's
No,
been said.
that I'm not expecting you to be perfect as well. So I'm gonna let you focus, but I don't expect you to be perfect. So I just want you to at least acknowledge some of the key points as well, and just understand your own perspective.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Nice. Nice. GG.
Nice. GG's in.
And thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, for sure, man. Um, yeah, like things like that, like fighting, fighting Steve, or can like literally cover all my options. Like that, that would be like probably like the most frustrating matchup, you know?
No doubt about it. I'm not the best Steve player in the role, but like no matter what Steve it is for you personally, it's like, all right, you know what? If I fight a Steve, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're never gonna find one favorable matchup you're ever gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is Smash Brothers, for example. Everybody's here. Everybody's literally here. So
Yeah, that's true. And it's like for me, like I have to try to adapt that to his character, try to learn more of the matchup.
for sure, I'll let you focus real quick. Nice. Yeah, GG, man. GG's, man.
GG's.
Now, I do want to ask you, like, I should have asked you this. Just pretend like I was an opponent. That's my bad. But let's just say you were fighting me in bracket. So, how did you feel overall? Like, in all honesty.
But to be honest, like I feel kind of stressed in that match because it's like Steve's combo is so true, and it felt like I really couldn't do much, you know. So that's like always like most frustrating matchup for me.
Nah, for sure. I mean, I agree. Steve has really great tools and whatnot. That's something you have to ultimately acknowledge. As much as Steve is also annoying for like most of the Smash Ultimate community at the very least. I'd say the most important part is to understand, you know what, as much as it's annoying, I have to get this through. You know what I'm saying? You have to find ways to learn and cover the matchups, but it's more than that. Mentally wise, you have to understand, you know what, even if I lose, I understand that, taking one loss, I can save the replays. It can always practice again. Like, how can I deal with that and whatnot? And you have other sources for like Ganondorf Court or Ganondorf Discord server, which can really help you on the matchups. You know what I'm saying? And it can help you teach the ways that will deal with that matchup in that aspect. But mentally wise, you have to just let it go and move on. You know, as much as it's frustrating, and it's the same applies to like a Sonic or a Min Min or any character that's commonly annoying for the community. Just understand, you know what? I just honestly just need to move on. And as much as I get angry, my anger is not going to serve me to where I can get to my own goals, like getting top 8 at a local. You know what I'm saying?
Right, you know. Um, for me, it's like I just got to figure out like ways to make adjustments and really just try to learn the matchup in general, because I know for a fact like I'm most definitely gonna come across like guys who main DLC characters at locals, so it's like now like I really need to learn the matchup. It's gonna be very important for me.
No doubt about it. And you have to show good sportsmanship no matter what, and be the bigger person in that situation. Because I know that's one thing you should definitely work on. I'm not expecting you, like I said, to be all perfect and whatnot, but at least acknowledge that If you at least just say your GGs and show your respect, you just move on, and you should project your frustrations elsewhere and not on anybody who did not deserve it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Right, most definitely. Cause like definitely in the past, like I've been salty before where like I didn't say GGs or like I might have, just kind of escalated things and started drama all because of like me not accepting my loss in that match.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's something you should recognize and have an introspective, like, all right, what can I do to do differently? That's what, if you remember, Doom, like I said in the beginning, it's very important to rewatch the stream whenever it's completed. But like, changing your perspective and mindset will get you far, in any aspect, not just Smash, but like, competitive, and it's very important, what I'm saying, to have good sportsmanships because that's something that this community lacks in the competitive side. But that's besides the point. I suggest you practice on those things. Let's just say, you should view this as a way to change everything. Like the most strict way is to like find specific Steves, right? For example, you practice with them. You say, all right, well, all right, this time I'm going to say, all right, this time if I lose, I'm not gonna get mad. I'm just gonna say, all right, you know what? If I lost, it is what it is, and you know, even if you know, even if you somehow still don't believe Steve is like carried or whatnot, that's your opinion, but you shouldn't like insult a person like personally yourself. That's very important in that fact.
Right. Like I won't blame the person maining them, because like it's like they just wanted to play the character and I'm just gonna have to accept that.
Yeah, and so let's say like if you do get mad, you're just gonna have to apologize and just tell them like you just want to move on and whatnot. It helps you create like a more positive mindset. Like, you know what, I can do anything. That's part of the affirmations. I keep repeating the main 3 points: affirmation, perspective, and like and practice and whatnot. And they're very important because it's just going to help you to where you'll understand your moral awareness is going to develop as well. And part of your frustration, you can't get mad at like the other players just because you just don't practice the game enough or you don't have enough analysis or whatnot. In all honesty, you just gotta like know like what why you lost and what you can do to improve. You know what I'm saying? And it's not. Claiming. I'm not like trying to make the game like it seems perfect, but like at the very least, just be reasonable with yourself and with the player. And even if the player is toxic, just don't. Just move on from it and do what you gotta do.
Right. And I did want to ask, kind of relate to that question, is when after I get done with the match or a set, and then I feel salty after it, what could I do to relieve myself of that situation?
It's a great question. There's several ways you can do it. From my experience with how I do it, you let them. You respectfully let your opponents know. All right, you say GG's, good games. Any way you say it, GG's, good games, or whatever. Um, I feel a little bit upset, but I want to give you my courtesy, or at least like tell them at least respectfully. You know what, GG's, man. I got a little bit upset because fighting Steve, but I wish you well. Good luck in winners. That's what one way you can do it. It helps create less tension for yourself and less tension for the other person, letting them know that you're just being a good sport about it. That's one way you can have like a good reputation through that regard.
Right. Just always showing respect to the other opponents, no matter what.
Well, if an opponent is toxic, then that's different because it's like they're disrespecting you for no reason. Like, let's say that you lost a set, you're just being respectful, and then they disrespect you. We got to do something about it. But like if an opponent, but like, it's most likely it's not going to happen. It's just some people who just don't have the integrity. But I promise you that. Well, I know from experience that doesn't usually happen off very often. That's like a 1%. possibility from your cases. But in the cases where the opponent, even if the opponent beats you with Sonic or Min Min or whatever, you say, even though I got annoyed, I wish you well and good luck in winners. You know what I'm saying? To show respect, whether they are receptive or not, it's up to them. But like you just gonna let them know and just move on from there, and that's it. You just gotta practice the matchup, practice like what you gotta do, your habits. It's like building your own mindset. That's going to help you grow and grow to a more positive place, and that's how you let go any of the wiring, negative wiring or whatnot. So that's something that you should definitely focus upon.
Most definitely. Um, just like in an attorney setting, after my opponent defeated me, I just show my respect, assuming that he's not toxic, but just a guy, just trying to casually make it through the attorney bracket. I'll just
Yep,
tell him
and then,
GG's, and
and
you know,
and yeah, yeah, no doubt. Another thing I want you to do is like I don't want you to like. Another thing is very important. I know you're not going to be perfect. Like not a lot of people are perfect at it or not at all. At the very least, they know how to cope with it. But at the very least, just learn to let go and know that you know what, just don't let losing the winners make you feel a lot shittier, a lot worse. You know what I'm saying? It's actually a way, the opportunity to make you feel a lot stronger. The one positive thing I can say, a lot of people, like even for myself, they feel this like drive or way of like saying, "Oh wow, you know what? I actually feel a lot better in losers because it's like I'm on the line. Like my tournament says on the line, so." You play a lot sharper, a lot better. And some people are like very good at losers runs. They strive off of it. That's something you should definitely look forward to as well. It's very optimistic. That's one perspective you can think like, oh shoot, I can play a lot better. Or, all right, I ain't gonna let this. I ain't gonna let it go. I'm gonna keep persisting. I ain't no quitter.
most definitely,
And that's
I'll
how
just
it is.
yeah, like if I get sent to losers, like just gonna have to embrace it and just accept that this is just going to be a learning experience for me.
For sure. And I don't expect you to be perfect as well because there's still ways to where you're going to have to ultimately, know to just let go of anything. And you're not going to be perfect at this. I know that you're still going to get upset or salty, but whatnot. I don't expect you to just pretend everything's okay. That's not good. But I'm telling you just to have a different perspective. That's a huge difference. No, I don't want you to be just fake positive. Like real positivity is like knowing the weaknesses but making the best out of it is basically the whole point of it.
Right. Like um, I was just trying to do my best, and I won't pretend to be like really positive about it. I guess I'll go at it more like neutral. It's like, all right, well, he beat me, so it's like it is what it is. Just gonna have to suck it up and move on.
Yep. And you can take this experience to where you start work on something that you feel like, that's part of why you feel this way. You know what I'm saying? That's why you should save your replays as well. It's like, I'm just gonna move on, but let me save this replay and see what I can do to improve. Then you get better and better at it. You just save the replays as well. Very important to see what you got to do to change and what ways you can deal or cope with like some of the opponents like moves like Steve. You get what I'm saying?
Right. It's always just trying to adapt and try to make adjustments to that certain character.
For sure, for sure, and it's very important in bracket to have that mindset. You know, as well. Another thing, your mentality is outside of it. You can have all this, but like your energy as well, how you spend your energy. I know that you're a very busy person. You sleep very very. You know you. not to expose you, but like you tend to sleep very late enough, and that's normal since you have like a job that requires you to work very late in the morning, early morning, you know. But all I want you to do is get yourself enough vegetables or fruits to where, and being able to go outside to um receive some energy from the sunlight, because you know in this state we're both living in California where there's a lot of like sunlight and whatnot to help you get that energy, and that's going to help you mentally wise, you know what I'm saying. I know that as gamers like to stay inside, but like actually going outside and eating fruits that are very good and not just like the junk food like McDonald's or Pizza Hut, you know what I'm saying, is going to like help you improve a lot. I mean, do you see MK Leo? He changed so much. I mean, I know he was still killing it, you know, back when he had a different appearance, but like you but he seemed a lot more healthier, whatnot. I mean, if you look at Zero, he's a lot healthier. Well, because for different reasons, but like he at least took a break and understood, you know what, I just need to change the way I am and feel a lot happier. And that's part of why you can gain your energy and feel a little more optimistic. Your natural, it'll naturally make you more positive too, which will benefit you a hell of a ton for your mindset. You know what I'm saying? You can have all the mindsets as well, like being, you know, having different perspectives. It will help for sure, but what helps even more is eating a lot more healthier food, getting enough rest, you know, showering and well, showering in terms of like more often, or you know what I'm saying. I mean, not don't Smash players be like, hey, I'd be, you know, they'd be taking like 1 week showers, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, but like, yeah, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you just take care of yourself as well, and in real life, because it's going to help you a lot. To where, you know what, even though I feel kind of negative, it's like I can change the way I am, and it's going to help you a lot with the mindset and whatnot. You feel me?
Right, actually IRL, like that's actually one thing I was really lacking is like, proper sleep, and then also my diet too. And I've been inside most of the time, just like playing video games or just like listening to music and stuff. Like I barely get any sunlight, and I feel like all that has really like probably like is a big contributing factor to the mental state, that I am like the negative. Oh, damn, oh, the arena shut off, but
And no worries. We can discuss. It's not like it's very good. Continue what you're saying, and then I'll get to it.
oh no, you're good. No, I was just going to say, yeah, like so everything IRL is actually, I would say that's probably like 70% of like why like I have such like a bad mentality going into Smash Bros.
Mm, hmm. That makes a lot of sense then.
It,
Completely,
cause,
completely.
yeah, cause I've been eating a lot of junk food lately. Like I haven't really been eating healthy too, and I gained a little bit of weight. Like I'm not fat, but like I am growing like a little belly too. So I think that's probably it as well.
I feel you. I mean, it's very important. What you eat is what you are. That's like the saying. Amen to that. Amen to that.
That's true. Like I eat junk. I feel like junk.
Exactly. That's perfect. And that's why part of why your mentality is very important. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not gonna say that I didn't do the same, but you know, at least I have to understand. You know what? If I eat like mangoes or pineapples or you know what I'm saying, like a little bit more fruit and vegetables, and as well going outside is gonna help. Like at least like let you live, like actually live. You know, you can breathe, but like, are you actually alive? Are you actually like feeling positive? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling like, all right, you know what? Maybe I can actually have a chance in competitive wise. You know what I'm saying? Have that animal in you, being that sharpness and awareness and whatnot. That perspective is you know going outside and you know changing the way you live is ultimately helps you so much. Like you can talk to boxers like Mike Tyson. You know, holding on to, um, well, you know, I want to talk about something a little bit. It's like holding on into his like his seed, like holding on into his retention. You know, SR, like basically like not looking at pornography and like not you know doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna help you save a lot of energy and makes you a lot more sharp in awareness as well. It helps you with your mentality as well. You know what I'm saying? You can ask any boxers, any most like popular athletes and whatnot. It'll help you very much. You know what I'm saying? Gives you that sharpness, better sleep, and whatnot. And that's very important to talk about because if you want to compete in Smash Ultimate and whatnot, you have to have a good outlook to where, all right, you know what? How can I view this way? How not to self doubt because not to ramble, but like I'll say this though: if you're gonna have self doubt, saying like I said in the beginning, oh, and your perspective of like, oh man, I'm never gonna win this, then it's like, damn, that's tough. You're not. Then you already lost the game, like I said several times throughout this session. So definitely have affirmation saying, you know what, I got this. I'm positive. Positive affirmations will help you subconsciously to where you can compete a lot more you know, more relaxed, not as much tension or anger as you feel. Get me?
Right, most definitely. And um, I want to try other things as well. Maybe just like listening to motivational videos on YouTube. Seeing motivational quotes. Listening to more uplifting music, things of that nature. Hopefully, can help me out. And if anything, like maybe I'll take like little breaks from Smash Ultimate. Like feel like it's getting to me.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And it'll help you very much, my friend. Um, for the rest of the 10 minutes of the session, if there's any more questions, I'd be more than happy to. I believe I have said everything I've said throughout the session. Um, but I overall want you to know is that I hope that I was able to help you. And if you go through the VODs and this live stream again, looking back like, all right, how do I deal with this anger? You look back to from my experience because all what I say is from my experience and how I dealt and cope with this type of stuff because it can eat you alive and can make you miserable if you don't like deal with it properly that you should. You know what I'm saying? So if you have any more questions, I'll be more than happy to, and for the rest of the 10 minutes right now, as we speak.
Right, and I believe we covered everything as far as like mentality wise and like IRL mental self healing.
Sounds good. And you don't have any more questions yourself? Yeah.
Not at the moment, no. I think that covered everything for this session.
It sounds good. Sounds good. And I will tell you this is that for the rest of like how long it'll last, oh, how many minutes left, I will tell you that I've seen like your vast improvement in the game as a whole. I know that you still work the mentality, but skill wise, like your gameplay, yeah, like damn, like you improved a lot ever since that session we did. You know, like you pay attention to what I was saying, what moves, what cover ways that you can like change up and whatnot. I know that one thing you're lacking is like awareness, but at the very least you understand like, wow, all right, I just got to mix up this options, do mix ups and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It helps a lot to where you can ultimately improve on the aspects to where your mindset slash gameplay wise. You know what I'm saying? So this session is more of a mentalize your perspective, your affirmations, and how you cope with things, how you deal with things, how you practice these things. And looking back at the last one we did as we speak, the gameplay with your Ganondorf, your fundamentals helps you a lot. So that's those two aspects that's very important about.
Oh, no doubt, man. And definitely do appreciate like all the previous coaching session we did too, because with that, like I was able to help like elevate my skills, and I definitely been implementing it into it, and I noticed that I received better results with it as well. And now with this mentality session, I feel like, all right, well now I'm able to to go into tournaments with a different perspective and just trying to make more adjustments.
No doubt about it. And I hope that I helped you with this session. And like, I'm gonna ask you one more time if you have any more questions, let me know so that I can help you with.
Almost definitely, man. Um, you know, I would say I want to ask, like before, before I enter a tournament, like, is there anything I could do to mentally like prepare prepare myself for?
Well, how do you prepare yourself like in bracket? And is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for example, like right before bracket starts, like how can I mentally prepare for it? So like I don't go into it like really salty or full of anger.
Hmm. Well, how do you prepare yourself? Like I said in the beginning, is all you got to do is at least like know the fact that no matter what happens, you trust yourself, trusting yourself in the process of like, all right, I'm gonna compete, and it's a starting point to where you can grow yourself to understand how what your own unique way to like how do you prepare yourself mentally in that regard.
No doubt about it. And just glad that I can look at things with a better perspective now because this is like probably one of the most things I've been struggling with. I want to say like my gameplay, but it's just like the mentality part of it that was ruining the my Smash Ultimate experience.
For sure, man, for sure. And I hope that this session really helped you a lot, my friend. And I wish you very well overall. So um, thank you very much. I'm more than happy to ask any more questions you forgot to or you just come up with after the session. That way, in the future, I can be a lot more better at my, at coaching. This is still new to me, but I'm keeping it like real with you as well at the same time. No sugarcoating. I want to help you out of like respect and love from, for you as my friend.
Most definitely, man. And I really appreciate this session, because like this is probably gonna be the best thing for me, like trying to get this information, to help like further improve my Smash Bros skills overall. And I believe that's going to be all the questions for today.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much. And appreciate you very much. I hope that y'all enjoy the session. If you're still here, I'll be heading off. And peace. Appreciate you. And y'all have a good one.
Oh yeah, no problem at all. All right, well that's going to be it for today.